So,
As you were saying,
why?
we had some technical difficulties at first, but now we're back. Go ahead.
That's right. That's right. As opposed to the resurrection of the dead,
Right.
which there won't be any technical difficulties. We trust
We hope.
everyone will be just resurrected and everything will be cool.
A lot easier.
What is the purpose? What is the purpose of having a resurrection of the dead as part? And this is the core.
And that's a good question.
This is key to Jewish theology. And the question is why? It's so key to Jewish theology. If you take out the Amida prayer, which is the central prayer 3 times a
Right.
day, it's the silent prayer that Jews offer themselves, between themselves and God. Blessing number 2, right up there in the very beginning, blessing number 2 talks about God and resurrecting the dead. It says God resurrects the dead right up there in the beginning. What's it all about? So, the idea being that we have resurrection of the dead because if you believe in resurrection of the dead, if there is such a thing, then that means that everything that we're experiencing right now is 2 things. First of all, eternal. You're eternal.
Okay.
I'm eternal. What's going on, what's around us is all eternal. That's an important thing because it's coming back.
Everything's coming back.
Yeah, it's not just gone. It's not just here, one off, gone.
Right.
So therefore, you have to treat everything differently.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Because everything has inherent and eternal value. That's A.
Right.
But something even more so, and that is, if you live with that goal in mind, then you're always working towards something that is very, very central to everything that you are. See, let's say I believe that someday the Jews are going to be redeemed and they're going to move to Israel and there's going to be a king and they're going to build the temple. However, me being 98 years old and in frail health and really
Right.
not thinking that I'm going to make it more than another month or so.
Right.
And even if it does happen, it'll be kind of irrelevant because I'll really be too old to be part of it.
Right.
So, okay, I kind of did it.
I see
And
where
all
you're
those
going,
people, all those people that came before us, and there have been a lot of people that came before us,
Right.
our parents and their 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 parents, and all those generations, all those people. What about them? They did it?
That's true. They don't get a
Now
piece
you
of
can
it?
say, well, their souls are eternal. Their souls are eternal, that's true, but you know what? They lived physical lives. They live physical lives. If you're living knowing that this life that I am living will somehow have a reality, and I don't know exactly what it'll be like. Will I come back? Will I be wearing my blue suit or my black suit and all that stuff? I don't know.
And what are you going to look like? But that's what it was.
Right. What age will I come
Can I
back
pick
at?
an age?
And if my soul has been here in this world a few times,
I worry about
in
that
a few
too.
different people, like who will it be and how will it be and how will I come back? Will I come back, maybe will I come back as a dog or, whatever. I don't know. But the bottom line is you do feel that everything that I am doing right now is laying the groundwork for something happening later.
Yeah.
And the metaphor that is constantly used in all the language that's used when talking about resurrection is planting. You're planting. You're always planting. You're trying to plant because something is going to grow later.
Right.
That's the key to the whole thing. You're planting so something's growing. Well, if I'm planting, then I'm looking at things very differently. First of all, I'm going to look at things with a long view. Now,
Right.
The farmer is the classic. The farmer plants, but he knows nothing is going to come of this. He's going to get no results from this until a
Next
year
fall,
from now or
yeah.
something, the seasons later on.
Right.
And he knows that. And he knows that he has to take the long view. And he knows that there's going to be a number of stages on the way. But he does know also that destruction is the beginning of growth. And what do I mean by that? Every farmer
Right.
plants a seed.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to that seed?
Opens
Just
up,
just disintegrates in the ground.
Yep.
But from that grows the new plant. And that is the way you look at everything. Everything you're doing, even when it is destroyed. So you might build something,
Right.
but it's destroyed. But you know what you built? It still has some value, or it will have some value.
So even the things that have been destroyed, the things that have been broken, they still have value in this future
The
resurrection.
people, the institutions,
Hmm.
the even the buildings. Like therefore, when I build something, you build something, and you put in time and you put in energy into it. That itself has a certain eternity. It had a value. It contributed something to your life. It meant something. It was part of achieving your ultimate eternity, and therefore it will play a role in your eternity. I don't know exactly how that's all going to work out, but it will play a role in your eternity.
Am I playing a role in my parents, my grandparents, my great-parents, and great-great-great-parents' eternity? This is a part of the...
Absolutely we are. Yes.
Yeah.
And not only that, you're playing a role in my eternity right now.
Wow.
And I'm playing a role in your eternity.
It's,
right?
it's
And therefore,
confusing.
when I'm interacting, when I marry and I'm raising children and I'm interacting with people around me and doing things and engaging in community and society, so all of those things are part of the process that I'm working towards building my ultimate resurrection, the reality of what the world is going to be. So it's a whole different attitude.
I'm still a little confused of what happens when we come back. As you're building your reality, am I coming right back here to the set here, or the buildings that I built and had when I was? Are they going to be here when I come back? But that's going to be a lot of buildings on the same spot there.
I wish I could tell you, but I've never been there.
Haven't been there yet?
Yeah. Never been there. So
we
never
brought you in
seen
as an
it
expert,
exactly.
though. Is the
Never
problem.
seen it exactly, so I don't know.
Because there was probably a building here before where my house is and where I live, and
Right, that's right. So how it's going to come back, I don't know. But as it says in the Talmud, you earned it as a body and a soul, right?
good and bad.
Well, to whatever extent, they modify against each other. Let's say you earned whatever you earned, so you have a bank account, right?
Right.
You lost some. You got some debits, you got some credits, right? You hope it all ends up in the positive side on the end. Okay. But whatever it is, you earned it. Okay? You earned it as a body and a soul. It's only right that when it's all said and done, you should live it as a body and a soul.
Makes sense.
Why just a soul? So the body, and we talk about, well, it's really all about the soul. It's not about the body. It's not about the physical. In a way, it is about the physical also. It is about the body also. We really believe that. It's not just going to be forgotten forever. I don't know exactly what form the body is going to take, but there will be a body, some type of a body.
If you lost your arm, is that coming back?
So this is why, this explains a whole bunch of things.
Questions, you're right.
This explains a whole bunch of things about the Jewish attitude towards death and burial.
Right, okay.
This is why we don't want to destroy the body. We want it to disintegrate in a natural form, just like, because it's a planting. We're planting that body to sprout again.
Very interesting.
And if it has parts got removed, like for example, if someone had a limb amputated, we actually bury the limb.
Do you bury an appendix or a gallbladder?
If you have it, we do bury it. We bury fetuses, by the way. If there would be a miscarriage or something, we do bury fetuses. Sometimes it's there's nothing to bury, but if there is a piece of a body that is a recognizable piece of body, we do bury that. It's very, very important, and we prepare it. As a matter of fact, we don't just bury it. We cleanse it and we wrap it in a particular way according to a particular ritual, and we place it just like the planting process. You plow the ground. You want to make the ground most able to receive what you're planting in it, and you place the seed in it in the right place and in the right way to be the most effective, and so on and so forth. You follow all these guidelines. A farmer knows there's a right way to plant and a wrong way to plant.
Right.
So if you do it, ask anyone that people who plant plants, it's me, I don't know anything about it. I dig a hole, I stick the thing in. Sometimes it grows, sometimes it doesn't, which is pretty amazing that anything ever grows. But people that really know, they'll tell you how deep to dig the hole, how tight to pack the soil in around it, how much water to put around it, what type of fertilizer, all that type of stuff. So we're doing the same thing. That's what our ritual around surrounding death is, because we are expecting resurrection. And a big part of that ritual is to teach us to look at this and to look at all destruction as an act of planting.
That's interesting. I've never thought of it that way, because I got to admit, this is one of the more confusing, out there things that we talk about in Judaism.
It's out there. I don't even know anything that's more out there.
It's pretty out there.
Pretty out there.
I like the concept of. Now, I hope that doesn't mean we're going to sprout out of. Are we growing out from like a little sprout out of the ground where our hands come out? And,
yeah. So so in the Talmud, Cleopatra asks one of the rabbis. So Cleopatra's in the Talmud.
I didn't know she was in there.
So she asked, "Do you come back with clothing on, or naked, or how do you come back?" So so we're told that look at the grain. You put a seed in the ground, it goes in naked, but it comes back clothed, because it's got husks and all kinds of stuff around it. So they said that's the way it's going to be. That's the way it is with us, that we're going to come back clothed. That's what he said in the Talmud. I don't know exactly what to make of that, but all I know is that our attitude is different if we are looking and building and anticipating a resurrection.
Now, the question is, because I know it's different, like Christianity talks about this a little bit, and they only choose a certain amount of people that are going there. You have to be Christians, you have to believe in this. It is, beside the few exceptions, is all people are all people around the world coming back. No Jews, the Hindus,
and people, just like in the world right now, people will play a variety of roles. If people are here now, they're playing a role.
I get that now, but are they playing a role
they will play a role then,
the guy
too.
Coming back who sees the guy that killed him? What kind of role? They're translucent.
Someone might come back as a plant, a potted plant in the corner on the windowsill.
I don't know. Are like that now, but
people will. Everyone who's here will play a role somehow. I don't know exactly how that works. I don't know how active it will be. Maybe it'll be a passive role. Maybe it'll be the furniture. Maybe it'll be the dirt on the ground that people are walking on. I don't know.
Because, you think how complicated God has to have this already. If everyone who comes into this world, I assume, has a role while they're here, while they're living, they have a job to do and a purpose. You're saying that God also has a role and a job and a purpose for all of them later on.
Yeah, and it's actually not so complicated, because just presume like this. When they build a building, they put in all kinds of materials into the building. There's concrete, there's bricks, and there's pipes, and there's all kinds of stuff, right? So let's say you can knock down that building and build a new building. However, you have to use the same concrete, pipes, brick, everything. You can use it again, but you got to use all the materials that were there. You can build it differently, you can do whatever you want, but you got to use the same materials. Okay? That's kind of what God's doing. This world has a certain amount that God created a world. So there it is.
So it just different, and it doesn't have to look the same, but we're going to use the same materials.
And don't we all believe that with the with our organic world? How about the crops that grow out of the ground? Whatever. Animals eat the crops. Animals go to the bathroom. The excretions go back into the ground, and so on and so forth, and it keeps regenerating.
Cameraman Ken, I hope you don't come back as the excretion. I was just thinking that would be kind of lame. Okay, that's what I'm here for. But that's that's not the role you're looking for. I don't think in the afterlife.
No, but look, at least you're there.
Well, that's true. I'm there.
At least you're there.
You definitely get noticed.
Be better than not being there
at all.
True.
That is true.
Actually, and we're even told in the Talmud that the people who aren't there are resurrected and then die. Why they resurrected and die? So that they can see that it is there, but they're not.
But they're not. Wow.
It's not just that they never come back. They come back and then they die. That's tough.
So the one last question, and I think everybody's wondering, I don't know, at least I'm wondering, and that counts for something. Is there that line, for us to make it into this world? Beside believing, I understand that.
Right.
It is okay because I took that 8-track tape when I was in 7th grade, which I really feel bad about. Because it was a blank, that's how bad it was, a blank tape, because I couldn't get to it. Anyway, long story. But is that going to keep me out, or is that's not going to?
No, that's not going to keep you out. That's not going to keep
I
you
didn't
out.
mean to.
There's certain things that you have to do have to be very heretical. And like I said, the number one thing is not believing in it. The main thing is for us to believe in it. If you don't believe in it, how can you go there?
And I guess also if you believe in it, you're probably going to live your life a little bit differently. Anyway.
Yeah, and that's really good. And that's what follows. If you believe in it, then you live your life each and every day, knowing that you're planting, that you're building, and that even there was an interesting thing that when a child would be born in ancient Israel, they would plant trees, and why would they plant the trees? Because they would use the wood from those trees for the poles for the chuppah, the marriage canopy of the child.
Right.
That's an idea of like, I'm always planting, I'm always looking forward, I'm always building and moving towards something. And that's really the bottom line. In Judaism, we're always planting, we're always looking forward, we're always building, we're always considering there's going to be another generation, there's going to be continuity, it's going to be moving forward. As opposed to our particular generation and more modern generations, which take a much more a dark view of things. Yeah. It's just me, and when I'm gone, I'm gone. Many people don't have children by choice. They don't see any purpose in it. And when they're dead, they just cremate their bodies because there's no why.
Right.
What it's all over with.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, maybe I'll even choose when I want to die, because if things are not working out at this point, why should I put up with the trouble? And all of that makes logical sense. If you're not living towards an eternal existence, it makes logical sense. But if you are living towards eternity, just think, if nobody had to retire, let's say everyone was told you're going to live till the end of your working days and then you're going to die.
Right.
No one would ever save for retirement.
Well,
be a different world.
It really would be.
A different world. And people would be playing and spending differently, and attitudes would be totally different.
That's true.
Right?
That is
but
true.
if you believe you have an eternity, you have to take care of yourself.
That's kind of like our retirement plan, then.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting. Well, I got to tell you, it's a lot to think about. I think everybody's have a lot to think about here too. So we hopefully will see you next week. If not, we know we're going to see you down the road at some point.
Right. We'll be back.
We'll be back no matter what. But if not, hopefully we'll see you next week as well.
Yeah.
Jeff and the Rabbi.